That email notification pops up. The subject line, low grade alert. Your heart sinks into your stomach and the panic starts. Your mind immediately races. Is this laziness? Did they study? What does this mean for college? For 25 years, I've seen what happens next. Parents with the best of intentions make one of two critical mistakes. They either fire off an angry text, an F, question mark, exclamation point, what happened? Or they jump into problem-solving mode, emailing the teacher and demanding a plan. I'm going to tell you something that might be hard to hear. Both of those reactions, while completely normal, are silently sabotaging your teen's future independence. I can often predict which teens will struggle most of their first semester in college based on how their parents react to a bad grade in high school. But in the next several minutes, I'm going to give you a simple 3-part question that completely changes the game. It stops the panic, ends the power struggle, and turns a failed test into the single most powerful lesson in self-advocacy your teen will ever learn. Stick with me, because what you do in the 5 minutes after seeing that grade is more important than the grade itself. We need to reframe the goal. The goal of a bad grade in high school is not to immediately fix the grade. The goal is to teach the teen how to fix their own grade. When you jump in to solve it, the lesson they learn is, when I'm in trouble, my parent will handle it. That system collapses the second they're alone in a dorm room. I want to tell you why I believe this so strongly. I worked with a student throughout her entire time in high school. Great kid, capable, on track, and the whole time her mom struggled to let her handle her own problems. Every rough patch, she stepped in and smoothed it over. Every hard conversation, she had it for her. We continually talked about it. I tried to help her see what that pattern was setting her daughter up for, but she never quite could pull back. Her daughter went off to a top 4-year university, and I later found out from a colleague that continued to work with a younger sibling in that family that my former student struggled to keep up, struggled to advocate for herself, and after a year she left, transferred to a community college. And I want to be clear here, community college was not the problem. For many students, it's a great path. The painful part was that it was not the plan that she wanted, and the skills she needed were not built before she left home. When that colleague and I talked it through, neither of us were surprised. It didn't start in that dorm room. It started years earlier with how bad grades were handled in high school. And that's the pattern that I want you to hear clearly, because I've watched it play out more times than I can count. And this isn't just something that I've noticed after 25 years of watching it happen. The research backs it up too. Teens whose parents support their independence instead of stepping in to manage the outcome for them consistently show stronger self-regulation and stronger self-esteem down the road. I've sat across from so many parents of high-achieving students, and they're completely panicked. Their teen just got a 68 on a major physics exam, their first ever grade below a B, and to them, it feels like a catastrophe. They see the college applications going up in flames, and the first thing I tell them almost always surprises them. I look them in the eye and I say, this is okay. In fact, this is an opportunity. For the first time, their child has a chance to learn what to do when things don't come easily. They get to practice the skill of talking to a teacher, forming a study group, managing their time when the material gets tough. And they get to build resilience now in the supportive environment of high school before they're in a 300-person lecture hall where the professor doesn't know their name. A bad grade is a data point. It's not a moral failing. Your job isn't to be the fixer, it's to be the coach. And a good coach doesn't run into the field and scream about a misplay. A good coach asks the right questions from the sideline to help the players see what to do next. So what's the question? The one I've seen work with hundreds of students? It's not, what happened? It's not, did you study? And it's definitely not, how did you let this happen? Okay, grab a pen or open the Notes app on your phone. You're going to want to save this. The next time your teen comes home with a bad grade or you see that alert, take a deep breath and calmly ask this 3-part question. Part 1, how do you feel about that grade? This is critical. It validates their feeling first. They might be disappointed, angry, or indifferent, but you're starting with their emotion, not your own. And it makes them a partner in the conversation, not a suspect in an interrogation. Part 2, what's your plan for understanding the material better? Notice the wording. It's not, what's your plan for raising your grade? The grade is a symptom. The disease is a lack of understanding. This part of the question forces them to diagnose the real problem. Was it the homework, the lecture, the test book? It puts them in the driver's seat of their own learning. Part 3, how can I support you with your plan? This is the one that changes everything. You're not offering to create the plan. You're offering to be a resource for their plan. The support might be, can you quiz me tomorrow? Or can you drive me to the library to meet a study group? You're the support crew, not the CEO of their education. Now, picture that student again. Picture a different version of that story. One where years earlier, that bad grade got met with those 3 questions instead of a rescue. Imagine your teen goes through this process 2 or 3 times in high school. By the time they get to college, that internal monologue is already built in. When they get a 65 on their first college midterm, they won't panic and hide it from you. They'll have the script. They'll ask themselves, okay, how do I feel about this? Annoyed. What was my plan? I'll go to my professor's office hours. How can I support my plan? I'll find a classmate to review notes with. No phone call home, no packing up the dorm room. You're not solving a B- in algebra. You're building an executive functioning and self-advocacy skill that will save them from academic probation, prevent that tearful phone call home in October, their freshman year, and set them up for a lifetime of handling challenges on their own. That one question is the bridge from being a parent who manages a child to a parent who's coaching a young adult. And that shift from manager to coach is the single most important thing that you can get right in these 4 years. So I built you the exact roadmap for it. It's free. It's called the High School Roadmap Every Parent Needs to Succeed. And it lays out year by year, freshman through senior, precisely when to step back and how to hand your teen more ownership without letting them fall through the cracks. It even has a weekly 10-minute routine I used to check in without taking over. That mom in my story never had this. You do. It's the first link below. Go download it right now before this drops off your radar the way that things always do. One more thing. Everything I told you works because your teen believes they're capable of handling hard things. But there's a way that we praise our kids that quietly destroys that belief. And almost every loving parent does it without realizing. I made a whole video on it. And if the girl in today's story stuck with you, you need to see this one. It's on your screen next. Go watch it.